Hey everyone, it's Captain Goat, and today I figured I'd start breaking out the face cam. Not that it really matters that much. So let me get my stream, what's it called, control up on my phone real quick. But anyways, so today I figured I'd take a break from, let's move myself down a little bit, take a break from standard for a little while, and see if we can hop over Timeless. This is one of my favorite decks I created. I call it timed humans, but it's mono white humans with a slight soldier theme, but not really. The main part of this soldier theme, let me get this thing up and running as I just kind of continue to talk. And I hope you didn't hear me. Anyways, so back to the deck. With the sound, that I just realized I didn't have any sound. Alright, so the main thing of this deck is we're trying to play as many humans as we can, and then get our payoffs with Thalia's Lieutenant, putting a 1-1 counter on every human. Then whenever a human enters, we put a 1-1 counter on this. Very powerful anthem. Then the other good, another reason why we're playing humans is the Copper Coat Vanguard. This gives all of our humans ward and +1/+0. So we're turning our 1-1s, our 1-2s, and our other 1-2s, we're turning those instantly into 2-2s and 2-1s. And they have ward, making it harder to get rid of. We also have the Voice of Victory to shut down counterspells. Thalia to hurt anything that's a non-creature spell. We do have a couple of those, but not really. The only non-creature spells that we have is Assemble the Players. We can look at the top card of our library at any time, and we can cast a creature with a power of 2 or less. Almost all of our creatures have a power of 2 or less. The only ones that don't is Muriel, Shield of Argiv. I'm butchering these names. But anyways, this one's a 3/4, but also helps set down counterspells. And then the other one is Boromir, who helps us shut down show and tell casting spells for free, and any of the ephemerate stuff. We have the normal, we have a pretty fairly normal, I'm hoping, mana base. I'm debating if I want to go up on this. This card is so good. So it's a mana base that we can just tap and put a counter on each creature that we control for 5 mana. Late game, our little guys are growing massive. Castle Ardenvale. This is going to be our another, human generator. Again, it's for about 5 mana. This, I've never really used it. I'm actually thinking about just pulling it. Let's just do that right now. Let's pull that out. The dragon's cool, but honestly, the air temple is just significantly better. Then we have the Seat of the Empire. This helps us get rid of anything that's attacking us for free with our mana base. Then we have Minas Tirith. This helps us draw cards. I want to do another one, but I don't have the wild cards for it at the moment, with this being a free-to-play account. We got our Plains, and we got our Cavern of Souls. I think I don't have any more Cavern of Souls. I do not. So this is the main deck. I'm going to be taking it out in best of 1, but later on, if I decide to do a best of 3, this is kind of my sideboard. I have Brave the Elements. This makes it so that our creatures have protection from any of our chosen colors. We can protect them against spot removal, which is kind of okay, but the main ability of this is it prevents it from getting blocked by a creature of that color. So let's say we're playing mono green, we've got a good board, we have lethal, but we can't get through their blockers. We cast Brave the Elements, we say green, all of our creatures can swing through. We have Deafening Silence to shut down any kind of storm-style deck, Containment Priest to stop graveyards, Dauntless Dismantler to stop artifact decks, and it also has the nice upside of destroying artifact lands. Droth Magistrate, again, to shut down a lot of these exile and graveyard decks. Rest in peace for more graveyard decks. There's lots of graveyard decks in Timeless. And then we also have Tomki Distinguished. I cannot pronounce these cards. We got this guy, and he helps prevent us from getting Strip Mined, because there's some decks around here that are just built around Strip Mine. But this is if we decide to take in the best of 3, but right now I'm kind of feeling best of 1. So let's hop over and let's do some best of 1. And as you can tell, I like to brew. There's a ton of decks. Alright, so let me move myself back up. There we go. Hopefully I look this way more, or maybe I'll move over here. Because I'll be sitting like this. This way it looks like I'm looking at the field, which I am, just not this way. Drinking coffee like an American. It doesn't matter the time of the day. Alright, I decided to take a break from Standard for a little bit. Standard is fun, but I do Timeless, as you guys can tell, Timeless Witness. This is my format that I like to play. Alright, so I think I'm going to keep this hand I don't terribly like it. But I mean, turn 1, we have Esper Sentinel, which lets us draw cards off of non-creature spells, and have Swords to Plowshare the next turn to get rid of whatever creatures. And then if we draw another untap, we can drop in Copper Coat, Voice of Victory. So I think I'm going to keep this, and we're just going to hope that it's not a Show and Tell deck. So, looks like it's a Grief deck. I personally don't think these decks are that strong, and I'm going to be completely honest about that. So, these decks, they're all about getting Grief, but they're also shredding their hand, making it harder for them to draw. So, they're probably going to reanimate it right here. But look, they're already down to 3 cards. We're down to, what, 5? Okay, now they're down to 2 cards. I think these decks are good at making people concede quickly, but they're awful at the long game. So like I said, there's Reanimate, and we're going to drop in... Actually, I think I'm going to keep that. Oh, this is interesting now. Control Plains. That's not a Plains. Alright, so we can get rid of that if we can get this guy down quick enough. So how we're going to do that is we're going to drop in the Air Temple, and we're going to hope that we draw some untapped sources. But we have to do this quick. Alright, so we're going to drop in that, drop in the Sentinel. They definitely have some kind of instant speed something. Okay, I'm okay with this. So the next turn we're going to drop down the Cathar, probably a Voice of Victory, maybe the Copper Coat Vandal, and we're just going to start beating them down. Like I said, this can be a strong deck. I just don't think it's that strong. I think it's really good at trying to get that early victory, but if they have any kind of removal, you're just SOL. Alright, so let's hope they don't have some kind of fatal push or anything like that. Let's swing in, and let's see what they got. See, and already, we've turned it around. 13-8. We have a board, they do not. So next turn, I'm probably going to drop off Voice of Victory. And we're going to see what they got. Alright, they can't do anything to us. We're going to drop in the Warden. And I am just going to swing in with the Moonrage Brute. One thing I do like this card a lot, especially in Timeless, because there's so many different ways. I think I'm going to keep it, because we've got so much for it. So I really like this card because it grows itself. We can start scrying, start controlling our draws, and it feels really good. So even if they do kill the Brutal Cathar, I'm not feeling too bad, honestly. Alright, so I believe this should be game, if I'm correct. Because we're going to be buffing all of our humans pretty heavily. And there we go, game 1. And like I said, I really don't think that these Grief decks and these scam decks, I think they're called scam decks, I don't think they're that good, especially in Timeless. There's just so much interaction, so many different ways to get rid of it. I mean, it's, like I said, it's a fun deck to just absolutely catch them off guard, but other than that, yeah, we're doing good. It has no long game. Alright. So let's hop to the next one. Yes, I was getting my butt kicked in Standard for a little while with my Standard deck. It is so much fun to play, but it can be an unforgiving beast. Alright, we're going to keep this. So those of you who don't normally play Timeless, you don't need a lot of mana to get going. And if you do need a lot of mana to get going, you better have ways to ramp there quickly. That's why the most expensive thing in my deck is a 2 of a 4-drop. Then I've got 4 3-drops, and everything else is 2 and less. So it looks like we're playing some type of control deck here, so we're going to want to get Thalia down as quick as possible. Alright, looks like they are doing something that I don't like. We're going to drop in Thalia on their second main phase, because I'm betting they have some type of counterspell. I might even be dropping in Thalia's Lieutenant instead, but I want to see what they do here. Alright, here comes counterspell, I'm betting. Okay, that was a little shocking, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I did not expect that. That doesn't feel particularly good. So, I mean, especially on their turn. And that's another thing I like about playing decks like this, is we've got so many little creatures, so many small, just not very powerful things that when you Swords to Plowshare, it doesn't feel that good. So unfortunately, it looks like this is a control deck. They just ditched a Teferi, so they definitely have a Teferi in their hand. Alright, so we're going to drop in that. We're going to swing in with the Inspector, and we're going to let Thalia get counterspelled. Oh, no counterspell. Okay, I'll take that. So Thalia here feels pretty good. We're making pretty much their entire deck cost one more. So they can't... What do you call it? Oh, we got another Thalia. So, yeah, I think I'm going to draw with this. There's just nothing that we can really do at the moment. Except for dropping another Inspector. So Thalia feels incredibly good against these control decks. We're making everything cost more. So this now costs 2. Teferi costs 6. Whatever this is, which I'm betting they're not going to counter it. So like this is going to be half of their mana right now, just to get rid of that. And I'm going to drop in the Voice of Victory. So we're going to swing it again. I'm not feeling good. I don't like where we're at. We're one board wipe away from just getting stomped. And I'm betting here it comes. So they can't use any counter spells. See, that was painful. Double. Ooh. Double. Okay. That doesn't feel good. But it is what it is. And we got another one. Sweet. So we can drop in this Thalia. Probably get countered. Alright. And, ooh, we're going to Solitude it. Okay. So Solitude's going to come down. I'm leaving up my Swords to Plowshares because I don't know what they're doing. Alright. So we're going to draw a card out of this. And unfortunately, this is one of the matchups that the Brule Cathar is not very good. I mean, you're playing against a creature matchup, this thing's awesome. Not a creature matchup, not so good. But we are putting a lot of pressure, and I'm going to be completely honest, I am shocked that they haven't board wiped us yet. So we're going to get our planes, get in for a 1, and then I'm going to drop him in. There's no reason not to. And here we're leaving up the Swords to Plowshare in case they drop something, and we win! I was not expecting that. Alright. Kind of makes me want to bring that whale counter back up, because we're already, what, 2-0? So yeah, let's do it. Let's put the whale counter back up. Alright. Boom. I think we're 2-0. These have been really quick matches. Yeah, whatever. If not, I did play a couple matches beforehand. You know, I'm not sure if it is a 2, so we're going to drop it down to a 1, just to be safe. Because I have an excellent memory. Alright. So, I like this hand a lot. So, turn 1, we can play the Warden of the Inner Sky. We don't care about that one bit. Okay, so this might be the Rakdos Burn deck. So, I'm actually going to drop in the Inspector this time first. I was going to drop in the Warden, but they might have some type of removal, and we want to keep the Warden alive as long as we can. So, we're drawing a card. We don't use our graveyard at all, so we do not care about this Leyline of the Void. The Bloodstained Mire, I like this artwork. I don't know what exactly it is, but it's pretty cool. Alright. This has got to be that Rakdos Burn deck. So we're going to swing in with our Thalia. And I'm not sure what's going on, so we're going to drop in... I'm sorry, we're swinging with our Inspector, then we're dropping our Thalia. And there's the Bowmaster. The bane of my existence, Timeless. So, those of you who don't know or don't play Timeless, the Bowmaster, whenever it enters, you get to deal 1 damage to any target. Whenever the opponent draws a card other than their first card per turn, or their draw step card, I mean, they get to amass 1 and deal 1 more damage. So this card is, if you're playing black and you do not have this card in Timeless, you are doing it wrong. Just being completely honest. So here comes the Strip Mine, which is going to blow up one of our planes. Luckily, we don't care that much. So we're going to drop in this one because they know about it. And then I'm going to get rid of Fear of Missing Out. And then I'm going to drop in this Warden of the Inner Sky. And I think I am going to make him a little bit bigger, and we're going to see what our next draw is. I like that. So luckily, neither of us are doing much right now. They have a useless card in their deck, which is always good. They've Strip Mine, Lightning Bolt. Oh no. We probably will Swords the Bowmaster, just because it might become a problem. Not entirely sure yet. Alright, so we're dropping our Lieutenant, we'll go our Inspector. I'm actually going to leave our Inspector back. I'm going to leave this Plowshares up because I don't know what they're doing. They're filling that graveyard really quick, so they could be trying to get into Croxa, they could be trying to drop in something to reanimate it, and I feel like we're going to find that out real soon. So we're going to 100% keep this Swords of Plowshares up. I don't think I'm a fan of this one. Like, I feel like there's so much more they could have done. I don't think I like it. So we do need to get rid of that, unfortunately. And what's funny is our Inspector. That's not good. So here's another case that's showing how good the Bowmasters is, especially in Timeless. We can't play this now because all they have to... Actually, you know what? I think we're going to do it. So all they have to do is play a, what's it called? Non-creature spell. Don't pay for it. They get to kill it. We get to draw a card out of it. But this Sentinel is going to die. Unless we can draw... Not this. Okay, so it looks like they've got some kind of instant speed interaction. I'm going to be swinging in with the Lieutenant now. Alright, and that's another one down. I did not expect that. Apparently I need to start thinking that I'm better than I really am. Oh, I need to change my description of the stream. I didn't even think about that. So let me change the description of this real quick. Because we are now in Timeless. We are not in Standard. Alright, and no, we're not. So we're going to remove that. Let's go with Timeless. And we're still on our way to Mythic. We're still free to play. We're playing competitive. Alright, that's it done. Successfully updated. Alright, let's get back to it. And let's rate the cards while we're at it. I like rating cards. Alright, so for 4 mana, we can create 2 1/1 ally tokens. So far, not that good. Then we can search our library for a mountain card, reveal it, put it into our hand in the shuffle. Then we can Earthbend 3. Then we can Earthbend 3. That is so hard to say. I feel like this could be a decent draft card. But even then, so let's take a look at it. So for 4 mana, you're getting 2 1/1s. Still under the curve. Then you're getting a mountain. You're not putting it on the battlefield, but you're just putting it in your hand. But then your Earthbending 3. I mean, the Earthbending 3 is okay, but you're not doing anything with it. You're just turning this on. And for 4 mana, I don't think that card's very good. Even in draft, I don't think it's very good in draft either. It doesn't seem that good. Alright, let's hop back to it. Take on the Lord of Luxury. Alright. We don't have a 1-drop, but we've got a lot of our really good 2-drops. So we're going to drop in the Galleon of Thraben. Hopefully this survives, then we can drop in the Copper Coat, giving it Ward 1. And we can drop in the Lieutenant. I mean, there's things to do here. I just really wish this was a 1-drop. Alright, looks like we're playing against some... Alright, we really need to draw Boromir. If we draw Boromir, we can shut down this. I'm assuming this is... I always forget what it's called. It's not Omnipotence. Is it Omnipotence? The one that makes everything free. I'm terrible with remembering card names. And here it comes. Very soon. Alright. Drop in the Inspector. Drop in the Lieutenant. I guess we can win if instead of dropping Omnipotence, they drop in Atraxa. If they drop in Atraxa, we can get rid of it with the Vanguard. Or no, sorry, with a Cathar. Once we get rid of it with the Cathar, we drop in the Vanguard, we swing in. And that should be game. Okay. So they didn't have show and tell. That feels good. So we're going to drop in, assemble the players. Not going to attack because there's no reason. And now we can play the majority of our deck from the top of our deck. I think it's only 1 card per turn though. Yeah. Which, in this deck, we're not going crazy. Alright, so they have Ursa. With a 4/4. That's annoying. Drawing a couple cards. This doesn't feel terrible, oddly enough. Alright, so still have 1 mana. They have no mana. So I think we're going to get rid of this guy. Alright. What are we doing? Let's drop in you. They shouldn't be able to cast anything because of the Guardian of Thraben. This should be game. So, the reason why this should be game is because we have a 3-2, a 2-3, and a 2-2. Whatever happens, they're going to be taking 4. Then they're going to take 2 from the 1 ring, so we should be good. Unless they have a way to stifle the 1 ring in the very beginning of it. So we're going to take a look at that. But I think we got the win. And the Guardian of Thraben survives. So we're good. And we win. Alright, that's kill number 3. I think it's 4. I really feel like it is, but... But we're going up, and we're now Platinum Tier 1. We're about to hit Diamond. Hopefully, with this deck. This is my most consistent Mythic hitting deck, so if you guys want to try it out, it is pretty rare and Mythic intensive. A lot of decks in Timeless are. But this is but you don't need to spend it on the mana base as much. The mana base isn't terribly important. You can get away with playing nothing but plains or whatever else white mana sources that you have. It's not necessary, but it's helpful. Alright, I like this hand ish. We got our removal, we got our warden, and we got more removal. So hopefully they're just playing some kind of creature heavy deck that isn't terribly fast. Come on, Toph. I'm wondering if this is some kind of mono green earthbending deck, which I would not be surprised. There's Zappa. And there's nothing coming down. Alright, they're deep in the tank. They got a lot of choices to go. Oh man, do I play this? Do I play this forest? Or do I play this forest? I mean, oh, they're scamming us. Okay. Again, I don't care. I really don't think these decks are that good, especially when you're playing a deck like this. They're probably going to have to grab our swords, but we have 2 of them, so they're probably going to want to reanimate and grab the other one. They do that, and in 2 turns we do it. I did not expect that. Alright, are they going to reanimate it, or what's going on here? You know, I'm not going to play a creature yet. I want to leave the Swords to Plowshares up, because I don't know what they're doing. Oh, shoot. I know exactly what they're doing. Alright, they're probably going to win here. So when this comes in, they reveal cards on top of their library until they reveal land, and they put those cards into their... And we're just going to get rid of it just in case, but I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's pretty cool. And this is the degenerate stuff that you see in Timeless. So they're putting their entire deck into the graveyard, which Creeping Chills, it hits us for 3, they gain 3 as long as they exile them. These trigger the Sulfur Smote Ghouls, the ghouls come back, which triggers the prized Amalgam, which, these guys, it triggers these guys. And so those will be back. I'll be shocked if we can win this, but oddly enough, I'm not feeling terrible. No, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose. I can't forget what it is. Prized Amalgam. English. Me good English. Be good. So, here it is. So we'll block here, but we lose. And that's how the slide decks play out. Nothing we could have done against that. We're just going to take the loss and move on. But it's a cool deck. I mean, I enjoy combo decks. It's a fun combo. I feel like... I'm trying to see if I'm like... if I need to move the camera at all. Yeah, so you guys are going to see me staring at the screen, which you guys are up there. So maybe if I scoot back, it looks more like I'm looking at you guys. Alright, into the next one. Another Toph. Alright. Okay, this is I like this hand a lot. We got the Cavern of Souls, into the Sentinel, into the Lieutenant, and then we can play this. Alright, and it's a different deck. Alright, come on, let's take down My Little Pony. Hey, I don't think I like these card backs. I think I'm going to take these off. It was kind of cool at first, but it's, I don't know. I'm not a fan. There's no way we're playing 2 spy decks in a row. We're playing 2 spy decks in a row. Alright, and then that's the other power of the spy deck. Literally turn 1. So, it happens. And unless you're playing Leyline of the Void, there's just nothing you can do against something like that. So, we lose again, but that's okay. We're heading on to the next one. So if you want to make that deck, that's a wild card intensive deck, just because you don't get any of the free lands, but most of your lands are going to be uncommons and other stuff that I can totally think of off the top of my head at the moment. But anyways, I like this hand just real quick. We got the Inspector, we got the Warden, we got Assemble the Players, we got Thalia. So I want to get Thalia down as quick as possible, so we're going to be dropping in our tap land first. Especially against this deck. Alright, so we're probably going to lose. But that's okay. I've won against this deck before. Luckily, Thalia plays a huge part in that because it's making all of their stuff actually cost stuff. So, the Artifact deck plays all Artifact lands except for the Blinkmoth Nexus because it can become an Artifact creature. But this makes all of their stuff cost less. They have affinity. So, now they have 3 artifacts, so all of their affinity stuff cost 3 less. Okay, I feel like you're making me a liar here. So we're gonna drop in our Warden, then we're gonna drop in our Lieutenant. So I'm assuming they're using the black-red living weapon that gets plus X plus 0, which is the number of artifacts they have. Which, just to show how powerful it is, it's 2 mana. It'd already be plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be a plus 5, plus 0 on a life-linking flyer. Very good card. So here's the... Alright, so here we go. Here's that one that I was just talking about. Affinity costs less for artifacts. They can draw 2 cards for 1 mana. That's really good. Luckily we have Thalia, so it actually makes it cost 2. Alright, so we're going to drop in the Temple. I think I want to drop in Assemble the Players now. And I'm glad that we did that. So we can drop in this one. We can grow these guys. And we're going to continue to swing. Luckily our stuff is bigger right now. I don't know how long that's going to last. I mean, I'm really apprehensive. These decks can get very explosive very quick. I think Thalia, though, is slowing them way down. Alright, so here's what I was talking about. Oh, that's so good. Okay. So they just turned that into... They're swinging for 10 lifelink. There's really not much we can do about that. So unless we have some type of artifact or creature removal for next turn, which we don't, we're out of luck. So it's... I don't think there's anything we can do. So let's drop in the Inspector. Grow the Lieutenant. Drop in the other Inspector. Grow the Lieutenant again. Grow the Inner Sky Warden. So this is the power of the white deck, but unfortunately, they do have... Unfortunately, they're just quicker. This thing is just setting them up to just blow us out of the water. What we actually know... Alright, so we're going to tap the Inspector, the Warden, and the Guardian. And this should give it... Flying. We'll go next to attacks. We're going to swing in. We're going to get our 4. This is going to keep us alive for one more turn, and then I think we'll be okay from there, as long as they don't have any kind of removal for the Warden of the Inner Sky. Let's drop in that, and let's pass turn. Alright, I think there's a chance we can win. There's a chance. They're going to gain a ton of life out of this. But if they don't remove Warden of the Inner Sky, we'll be okay. So this is where the Blink Moth Nexus comes in really well for them. They turn it into a 1/1 artifact, they target it with this, they don't even have to play a creature. And it's getting plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. Not the happiest about that, but we're still kicking. Alright, so what this thing does is it can create a servo, turn the servo into a flyer, blah 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 blah. Okay, so we're gonna drop in that, name human. We're gonna tap our clue and our 2 inspectors, and we're gonna shove this to the bottom. We're gonna see what we can find. Not terribly good. Alright. Transforms. Trying to think of what we're gonna do. Let's draw a card out of this. I want to hit something real. Man, okay, we're only playing like 22 lands. That sucks. Alright, who are we okay with dying? I think we're okay with the Warden dying. Alright. So this costs 2 mana, and this costs 3. So that would take everything up and we get to draw. Well, that would take 3 mana total, leaving us with 1. We only have 1 legendary. Alright, we're going to end the turn. They're going to create a servo, I'm guessing. So if they do have another Reign of Truth, we just lose. That's just a fact. We're putting up a good fight, but, I mean, we've sent, what, 3 or 4 lands to the bottom? That sucks. Alright, so they can get rid of this, turn into a Thopter, and then they can get rid of the Thopter, turn into a 4/4 Construct. Annoying, but that's it. Alright, so it's a 10/10, really annoying. We really want to get our Cathars. We want to hit our Swords to Plowshares now, which maybe sending it to the bottom probably wasn't the best option. But then that would have been a lot of damage, or a lot of life they would have gained. So I'm assuming swinging it with those 3. Alright, we want to get rid of that. Let's see what they have. We're going to take 2. I mean, that's not good. Okay, we're taking 3. I completely forgot about that part of it. Alright, we're going to draw our land. Okay, I can live with that. So we're going to drop in our Cavern of Souls, naming human. We're going to drop in our Sentinel. Okay, this is good. We want this card. Alright. Alright, we're going to leave him up. We're going to have to sacrifice something to stop the portrait. So let's pass the turn. So what I'm doing here is I'm not going to be playing, I'm going to be using the Abandoned Air Temple, and we're going to put a counter on everything. That's going to turn everything just a little bit bigger, and that's going to give our Warden of the Inner Sky flying. Alright, so the reason why this is in here, this feels really slow for Timeless, and it is, unless you're playing the 0-drop Thopters. Then you can instantly turn that into a 4/4 Construct, and you can do that as quick as turn 1. So that's why they're playing this. So let's see what we got. And that's game. Alright. Unless... Let's see. We'll keep playing. We'll keep trying this out. We're going to lose 2 creatures here, which sucks. And it's just a fact. Alright, let's put a counter on everything. block here. And we're losing, but I do want to play this out, just almost as like a thought process. Alright, so we're going to drop in him. They can't do anything on our turn. We have no flyers, unfortunately, so we do lose. So, but anyways, that's the game. We've lost. They target this. Next turn, they swing me for a ton, and we just lose. So I probably shouldn't have put that Swords of Plowshare to the bottom, but honestly, I don't know how much that would have changed. But we're still Platinum Rank 1. We're not going down yet, but we will soon. But this is one of my favorite types of decks to play. It's disruptive, it's aggressive, and I don't need a lot of mana to play it. And it's okay. If you guys watched my last stream, which I know the one of you that did, if you guys watched my last stream, I did talk about how my very first deck I made was a modern mono white weenies, and this is honestly pretty close to it, but it was a mono white weenie soldiers deck. And so I was using the Kenneth. I call them Keiths. That creature type that just came out with the last set. It was a 2/2 or 3/3. I think it was a 2/2 for 4 mana. Whenever it attacks, you can take a soldier from your hand, put it down. So I'd use that to attack. Grab Captain of the Watch, which was a 4/4 soldier that gave all of the soldiers +1/+1 and created 3 1/1 tokens that when it came in. I think it was. Let me make sure. I want to take a look at that. So let's go with MTG. Captain of the Captain of the Watch. So let's read this real quick. Alright. So it was other soldiers get +1/+1 in vigilance and drops off through 1. So I forgot about the vigilance part. But that was such a fun gotcha card. Because it would be like, oh, I'm just swinging with the 2/2, bam, it's a 3/3, got a 4/4 coming down, and all of a sudden I got a ton of soldiers. And it was so good. Alright, so we're going to drop in the Vanguard here because they're playing Bant colors, so, especially with the Nomad. So most likely they're playing a lot of, what's it called? Non-creature spells. And so because of that, we're trying to draw as many cards as we can off of it. We are playing a little bit into a board wipe, which I'm hoping doesn't happen, but let's be honest, it's probably happening. Alright, see, look, the instant, and then we get to draw a card. And now we get to drop off the Shield of Argov, which is going to shut them down for playing anything during our turn. So, let's take a look. They do ramp a little bit, and they have to board wipe us this turn, or we just essentially win. So I'm waiting for that Day of Judgment to come down. Or they could ring us, which is just as annoying. So hopefully we draw a Boromir to protect us against the, what's it called? Board wipes. We did not draw that. Instead we drew another Assemble of Players. So I'm actually going to drop that in. I'm going to drop in 2 of them. And then we're going to do this. Like I said, I don't think that they have a lot of creature spells just based off of what I've seen so far. I'm going to leave it back up. So, unless they board wipe us, we're going to win. And I don't see anything else that they could possibly do. Unless they play another ring. Old Man Yells at Cloud moment. This card is just so busted. Whenever it enters, you gain protection from everything. That's ridiculous. So you take 1 turn off, essentially. Then you get to draw a ton of cards. One thing that the Ring is really good at is finding more cards. Alright, so we're going to drop in him now. I'm expecting Fog. There it is. Alright, we got Fogged, which is annoying. But this shuts down all future Fogs. So we're going to go in here. And we're trying to dig for... I don't know what we're digging for, honestly. Voice of Victory, maybe? Alright. So, this is probably a turns deck. But if they untap and they let us play, we win. So they're digging for it. They're taking 9. So Fog's useless right now. Where's the board wipe? Nexus of Fate, we draw a card. So Nexus of Fate shuffles it back in. They're taking another 3. So they've got 2 turns to find another ring. Nexus of Fate. I'm curious how they're going to win with this. So as boring as this is to watch, we can't concede because they could... all they need to do is... what's it called? Whiff. Like my brain did. So we just need them to whiff, and we'll be okay. Well, there's our Swords of Plowshare. So if they end up doing Plague Creature at some point, we can kill it! So Fog apparently has gotten significantly more annoying. Alright, so just to let you read this one off for you guys, take a look at the top 4 of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield. If you don't, put a card from among them into your hand. That's as broken as hit. Alright, let's go human. Let's cast with that one. I've never actually had both of them on the field before, so that's kind of weird. I don't think I want this. So we're going to ditch him to the bottom. I mean, there's no point in that. So again, we can't swing out at the moment, so it's no real point in having that one again, because we swing with 1 creature and then we just win. I am going to drop in the Voice of Victory. Now they really can't do anything to us. It's a show of force, saying that I could have killed you if you didn't play the ring. Alright, so now is when they have to get what they need. We've got Swords to Plowshare up, and that's incredibly annoying. So we're going to draw our Thalia. Oh no, we got Warden of the Sky next. I'm thinking about conceding here just because this is very boring to watch. Oh, I did not expect that. Oh no, they're running out of cards. They just gotta find a Nexus. Wilderness Reclamation untaps. They play Nexus. They take another turn, and then they cycle and they continue. And this helps them find it. This helps them find it. They shuffle their graveyard back in. I kind of was waiting for a what's it called? Win con, but I'm not seeing one. As soon as I see a win con, I'll scoop. Because there is a chance. There's a chance that all of their Nexus of Fates are in the actual deck themselves. I mean, it could happen. It's not going to, but it could happen. Holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think Nexus of Fate is 7. Yep, there it is. Alright, let's pass back to them. Let's Travail 1, flip it. I am going to concede here. I just don't want to continue this. This is not entertaining Magic to watch. Honestly, it's not even entertaining Magic to play. It's how well can I play Solitaire? And as you can see, they had that from turn 4, and they just kept taking their turns. They kept fogging. We can't do anything. We're just not a deck that's good against taking that on if they ramp that quick. So luckily we got a couple ways to shut down their instant speed stuff, but we just didn't get them. Alright. I do like this. We got the Warden, we got Thalia, and we got a removal. So we got a good curve right here. I still can't decide if I like this more than the original artwork or not. Like, it's cool. You got Thalia fighting off stuff, but at the same time, I mean, like, I don't know, the original artwork is so awesome, so iconic. And it's actually my playmat that I use for a mousepad. I have one at a turn. You know, she's standing up there, sword up, everything like that. I don't have a way to get rid of this. I think we're probably going to end up losing unless we can just stack one creature pretty massively. So we can try that out. Alright, it's going to blow up one of our planes. Which we don't care because we've got the land in our hand. I do like the strip mine. I think it's cool. And this is the strip mine decks that I was talking about. We can't win this. They're going to blow up all of our lands. They have a ghostly prison. We just can't swing into them. So, and we lose, which is okay. We're still going back at it. If I get fed up enough, I will play mono red prison. But I'm not even close to that yet. I can hear my dog. I don't know what she's doing. Alright, we're back at it with Leovold 182. Huh, I'm wondering if she was getting into something. It's a decent curve. I would have liked one of these to be something, literally anything else in the deck. But hopefully we'll get something with the Esper Sentinel. From Mox. What are they getting rid of? Okay, so this, we actually might be playing against Mono Red Prison. So they're going to strip mine whatever land that we play. Alright, which is annoying. I mean, it's annoying that we have, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4 1-drops. So that does take out 12 of our cards. So this is Mono Red Prison, just to let you know. I mean, like, that's literally, I was talking about it. This is literally it. So we're going to drop in our Lieutenant. So this is the power of the mono red deck. Making tokens, they've got it land right there. They're discarding what they need, drawing what they need. They're not playing any 1-drops. So this doesn't affect them, it just affects me. So we've got to draw lands here, and they kind of don't. So we have to take it. Like, this is just, this is literally the perfect hand for mono red prison. I mean, there's literally nothing else I would have rather have gotten. They've got the red source, they've got a red source, they've got the ancient tomb, they've got the fable, and we're just, wait. We might still be in this. If we can get, I don't know. So if we can just draw lands from here, I think we'll be okay. No, we're not. Alright, I'm going to continue. Alright. You get good matchups, you get bad matchups. That's the unfortunate thing with my mouth is very dry from the coffee. I need to get some water. But that's just the unfortunate thing about playing Timeless. Wow, I cannot speak. I am you. My cat. Alright. You know what? Let's hop back over to Standard for a little bit. So, I do want to play a little bit of Standard. I'm very quick, very decisive. So let me update my Steam. Not my Steam. My Twitch. If I can spell Standard. Standard. Alright, and let's change Timeless back to Standard. Sometimes it does get frustrating playing against these decks that there's just nothing you can do. Standard can also be a very, what do you call it? Solitary style format. There's only one land, we can't keep that. This one I do like. I think, I don't like it, but I'm going to keep it. And I think we're going to stick Dock to the bottom. And we're going to lead with our planes. Just because we might hit something with this. Actually, we're going to lead with the retreat. There's Seam Rip is a sorcery speed removal spell. Yeah, I'm going to stick Dock to the bottom. And so there's no point in leaving up white mana. I do like Seam Rip. I think this card is incredibly powerful. It's an O-ring, but for 2 or less mana. Alright, let's see what we're playing. I was having luck with this earlier. I hate you. Sorry, my cat's very demanding of my attention. So, I was having great luck with this earlier when I was playing before the camera, which is why I'm up so high. Alright, we are going to get rid of that, and I think I know what we're playing already. We're playing mono green land drop, which, unless we get going, is going to be very rough. What? Alright. Yep. I'm going to get rid of this now. I'm trying to slow them down as much as I can. I really want them to play some kind of enchantment, or enchantment creature. Oh my god. wonder if you guys can hear. I don't think you guys can hear her, but she's right there under my chair, just meowing at me like crazy. Alright, then they're gonna play the frog. We got the port mage. Alright, so we're gonna drop in the port mage. We're gonna drop in this tapped, and we're just gonna leave it up. So unfortunately they have 4, 6, 7. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of mana. And we don't have a board wipe. Again, I think Badger Mole Cub is just broken. I mean, it really is. Okay. We have to get rid of this now. So we're going to take another big beating. But at least they don't have their payoff at the moment. So unless it's in one of these 3 cards, which is, there's a good chance. Okay. You want to... Here, let me get it real quick. Ah. This is Mew. She's mad. She doesn't like getting picked up, but she loves the attention from me. Okay. Alright, so it's a Green Sun Zenith. With Harmonize. Wow, that's annoying. But it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about that. And again, I feel like every time I turn the camera on, we play the decks that it's our worst matchups. Like, so this particular deck that I'm playing right here, it is terrible against large creatures. So naturally, that's what we gotta play against. Alright. Yeah, there's nothing we can do here. Alright, so we do have board wipes in the sideboard. So we're going to sideboard it in. Day of Judgment. And I'm wondering about... Okay, so they didn't have any enchantments. Seam Rip still feels good because we can hit the Badger Mole. The Riptide Gear Hulk is fantastic here. That's not good. I'm debating on whether I want to bring in the All Fates Stalker or not, because it does let us get rid of their stuff. I'm thinking I'm going to do it because they don't use their graveyard, so we're going to bring that in. And I'm going to get rid of the Citizen, and I'm going to bring in that. Alright, we're going to see how this plays. We really want our board wipe. If we get our board wipe, we're sitting high and mighty. Oh, what was that? Not sure. Alright. Oh my gosh. And she's back. Alright. I'm tired today. I almost didn't even stream. Could not sleep last night. We're trying to find a house. And house hunting is just not terribly fun. Especially with how expensive everything is now. But, what can I say? You gotta do what you gotta do, and hopefully at the end of it we'll have a nice house that we really like. And then you guys won't just have to look at this beautiful white wall. Oh. Alright, so we're still sideboarding. I am playing my own creation, so I'm betting they don't know how to sideboard, and I run into this a lot. So, hopefully they're bringing in non-creature counterspells because they see Bant colors and like, oh, well, I need to bring in Spell Pierces and Negates. I'm not playing non-creature spells. Back in Ravnica Standard, when I had Charming Prince and Skyclave, that deck wrecked, and that was one of the few times I actually got the top 1000 Mythic. But people, whenever they'd see it, they would just sideboard all of these non-creature counterspells, and it was so awesome. Ugh, I think I'm going to keep this. So what this is going to do is this is going to help us get rid of the lands that they play. Or I'm talking about the lands that they play. If they target a land with Badger Mole Cub, this is going to get rid of it. So we're going to drop in Doc because we don't really have a choice. I mean, here pretty soon we're going to be able to exile something, which is nice. In fact, what we could do is we could play this exile it with this, and then it comes back, and then we've got a 3-2, or a 3-3, I mean. And actually, I think I'm going to do that next turn. So that's another thing I like about this. This helps us keep our ward stuff. All right. Or we can just airbend it, but I don't want to airbend it. So we'll play that. We're going to play you with warp cost. We're going to play your warp cost. We're going to target Guided by Light. I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce that first name. Which is going to bring it back. And there we go. Now we got a 3-3. And we have our removal for that big creature up next. So we're going to see how this plays out. Hopefully we draw another land. That would be the best, because then we can grab Aang, and hopefully with Aang we can find an Exclusion Mage. We can find maybe another... No, we can't find... We might be able to find another Stalker. I mean, there's a lot of choices that we have that we can find with this. I have a deck list off to the side, because I want something to reference whenever I play, so that way I'm not just talking out of my butt. And there it is. Again, it's just incredibly annoying. So I'm assuming they're swinging with a frog, which I would block with the dock. Alright, let's see. So the Fate Stalker is 2 mana next turn, which is good. So we can come in and grab that. And then we can airbend something. So let's do this. Let's play the dock. Or the Stalker, I mean. And we're going to get rid of Uroborodoid thingy majigger. I don't really know what it's called. Uroborodin. The worm. Uroborodin. I hope somebody joins the stream right now and they just see me. Uroborodin. This is peak streaming. Alright, we want to slow them down as much as we can also. So I am going to target probably the frog, I think. Because there's no point in me targeting my own stuff at the moment. So we're going to go to the frog, which is going to help out a little bit. And I'm going to swing in, I think. So we're going to swing in for 4. Or 5, I mean. Because math good. So we're going to swing in for 5. They can't block anything unless they want to get rid of that Llanowar Elf. The frog is out unless they want to spend 2 mana for it. So hopefully they don't have another worm. I don't think you guys want to listen to me making noises again into the mic. I mean, they have some kind of instant speed something, and I'm not sure what it is. Alright, we're going to sit here, we're going to wait, we're going to stare him down. So yeah, we're looking at a lot of nice houses out here, and it's just the price of everything. We can find a house that fits the family size, but then you're like, do I really want to pay that every month? And it's just difficult when you're searching for a house, especially when I moved to a new area. And so, sorry, did they just rage quit on us? So we moved to a new area, and right now we're renting until we can get another house. And I'm not going to say the area, because people on the internet are people on the internet. But I don't know, it's just, the area, we absolutely love the area. It's just very expensive to live here. And so hopefully you'll see, guys, we'll see a change of scenery within a month, because then that means that we found what we like. I did just get a text message back. Alright, I think they rage quit. I think they got really mad, and they rage quit. I'm kind of in shock. So we just won 2 games because we removed the worm. I mean, I see them flickering, so they're there. They're just mad. Maybe they just don't have anything. Well, I'll take the win. I will take the win. Alright, so we're going to drop in that, and we're going to drop in Aang. I'm playing quickly because if they have rage quit, I want to give them time. Oh, perfect. Okay. I'm going to go with Aang. And I am going to airbend another Llanowar elf. Yeah, they rage quit. I'll take it. I will take it. Oh, I'd love it when that happens. Just free wins. And it makes you feel good because you're like, my deck is so annoying. They've just left. I'll take it. And this is going to put us back up in the Platinum 1. Closer to Diamond. And finally the deck is good on camera for you guys. I mean, like, I will turn the camera on and I will lose 5 matches in a row and just get beat up by the algorithm, get beat up by the random opponents, and I'll turn the camera off and I will win and I will go right back up to where I was. It's infuriating because I'm like, why can't I just show this deck off to the people? Alright, I think I got one more game in me because that one was so quick. That counts as 2. Okay? That counts as 2. Oh, that brings us up to 5. Alright, so let's take a look at this card. This card, when it was in Standard, it did have a little bit of Standard play, but not much. It's okay. So, let's read it. So, for 2 mana, you get a 2/2 that whenever this creature attacks, while you control a creature with 4 or more, it gains double strike. That's pretty darn good. If you're built around it. Stolen Goodies, for 4 mana, a green and 3, distribute 3 1/1 counters amongst any creatures that you control. If you're built around a deck that's playing a lot of, like, oh my gosh, green-red deck that's built around a lot of big stuff, this isn't a bad 2/2, but there are better ones out there. So if you're on a budget, this is an okay card when it was in Standard. In Pioneer, in Historic, and in Timeless, don't play this card. Oh, if you are drafting, though, that's a great draft card. You're pumping, you're getting a 2/2 for 2 on curve, that can also have double strike. So it's a good draft card. Actually, a lot of those adventure cards are really good draft cards. Alright. Okay, let's keep this. Let's see what happens here. So we've got Seam Rip, we got Badger Mole, and we got the Airbender's Ascension. One thing I like that these two, I don't want to highlight it for the other person. So one of these two that I like that you can do is you can drop in the Badger Mole, then you can airbend it, and then drop it back in. But you have to tap it, you have to tap the land before. I am going to get rid of that right now. Alright, so we're going to drop in the Hollowed Fountain. And this sets us up very well for our next turn. Alright, so we're going to drop in the Badger Mole. We're going to select the Hollowed Fountain. And then we're going to tap that and grab Airbender's Ascension. And we're going to hit the Badger Mole Cup again. I like it. So next turn, we're going to drop in our Badger Mole. Especially if we drop a land, we're just going to explode our mana. I mean, this card is so broken. It really is. Are you going to gift me something? Yes! Alright, land. Beautiful. Alright, so we're going to Badger Mole this one in. We're going to target this land. Then we're going to Badger Mole again and target this land. And now these tap each for 3 mana. So we're not going to attack, we're going to pass the turn. That's ridiculous. I mean, this is so broken. So Death Touch, Haste, Ward, collect 4, don't really care. We're going to take some damage here. That's perfect. We're perfectly fine with that. Now we want to find our big stuff. Aang. Yeah, let's grab Aang. Alright. No blocks. We want to keep our Badger Moles. Alright. And we're going to go next to combat. And we're going to swing with all of these. Pass turn. Alright, they're playing another forest. This thing, I do like this thing. It's pretty good. We're going to take some damage here, and we're completely okay with that. We're going to drop in Aang. We're We're going to airbend the sharpshooter away. We're going to drop in our flanker. And we're going to gain some life and scry it out. Alright, so we don't want either of those. And they've already conceded. Alright, so we're playing against mono green creatures. We're bringing Day of Judgment, bringing the Stalker, bringing the Light. I'm not seeing any enchantments. Blinking's okay. I'm going to take out the Citizen. I mean, I feel like we've got decent-ish card draw. The Seam Rip was alright. What can we take out? What else? You know what? They're not doing the graveyard. Whatever. So that's the ridiculously powerful show of Badgermole. I mean, we were tapping 1 mana for 3. Or tapping 1 land, getting 3 mana out of it. That's just broken. I am waiting for that card to get, just to get banned. But until then, I'm going to abuse and abuse it. Alright, so I do kind of like this. We have Haya. We have the All Fate Stalker. Alright, they're just playing a lot of really big stuff. It's annoying. But it is what it is. We're going to keep drawing. So I thought about holding on to that and trying to be a little greedy, but you know, it is what it is. I don't care. Alright. So we do have the Exclusion Mage. So whatever they play, we're going to bounce it back, and we're going to probably block the Frenzied Baloth. Alright, yeah, we're going to block that back. Alright. Or do we? So, okay, we're gonna... I'm just gonna pass turn. So, I want to get as much as I can with this Day of Judgment. So, we're gonna take some serious beatings right here. Which is annoying. But I'm gonna wipe the board with it. I'm assuming they've got some kind of annoying instant speed shenanigans. Looks like they have a hexproof thing in their hand. Alright. What are we playing? Let's think about this. I think... We're being risky, but we also have a 4/6 flyer now. And a Badgermole. So, I don't like this. This makes me nervous. So we're going to drop in the Virtue of Knowledge, and I'm not going to attack because we have only 1 blocker and a very low health total. So if they drop that 4/4 with haste and ward and all that kind of stuff, we do have this. Alright. So whenever a creature controls, we can target a spell. So whenever we target one of these, how are we doing this? Alright, let's think. What are we doing? So we're gonna warp you in. And then we're going to... I don't know. And then we're going to Airbender's Ascension. I did this out of turn. Should have done this first. And we're going to target this token. We're going to get rid of the token. And only the token. Again, I forgot that I had that. So I should have targeted the token, and I should have targeted Guided by Light. But we didn't. So let's wait for the snake. That's annoying, but it is. But we knew it was coming. Okay. So they could have another one. Oh, no, wrong one. We're gonna go with this guy. We're gonna target our own Guided by Light. And the Riddler. So this is gonna blink everything for us, essentially. So we're gonna draw a card, we're gonna gain some life. Gain a ridiculous amount of token triggers. Alright. I'm feeling pretty decent about where we are, but I'm not feeling good necessarily just yet. So we still can block what they're playing. So they definitely have another snake skin. And we got it. And we're there. Beautiful. So this deck, see, there's proof. I have proof this deck wins. So I'll probably play it again to get to Diamond. But right now, that's all the time I got for playing the deck. Thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you for enjoying this with it. I'll probably continue with the face camera. I had a lot of fun playing the decks. Timeless does get frustrating, as you can see, when you just can't win because they're winning turn 1. It is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. If you play Timeless, play best of 3. That's the best advice I can give you, because you can get prepared for those turn 1 shenanigans. And my standard deck wins. You can see that now. But alright, well, until next time, hope you guys have fun, and I will see you again soon.